She knows and has always known for years Banabad is insane. She knows he's scary. She knows, well, she's literally scared of him. She knows he's a liar. It's all just, this is her team now, is what it is. See, look, that's not someone who's like sincerely finding something funny and laughing. This is just a job.
Pretty bad, wasn't it?
Gorgeous George right here. Is he on the Why is he talking like that? I've never seen this. This iDubbbz guy is just like 12 IQ, isn't he? He kind of seems like he always has been. It's the vibe I'm getting from everything I've seen of him. He just seems very, like, stupid. Get it out of the way first. Yeah, man, this drama is so toxic. I kind of despise it now. It's not... I thought this was about... I thought this was about people using the personality clashes as a springboard to educate a wider audience about the conflict. That's kind of not a thing anymore, is it? Now it's just, this is mental. Now it's just people being kind of insane. And it's like a leapfrog of being insane that's just never going to stop. It's just personal now. Yup. Yup. Okay. Yeah, like, it's just kind of watching, it is just kind of watching, like, cyberbullying now, but okay. Brilliant.
A few days ago, my good friend Ian, also known as iDubbbz, released a content cop about me. His video's over an hour long, and it's full of a lot of accusations. We watched the entire video, every frame of it, responded to every accusation on the podcast in a really long episode. We watched the whole thing, so if you're interested in a more thorough response to everything, I would recommend watching this episode. The video that I'm making today, however, I don't need an hour.
Yes, I saw Hamas release a lot of footage on their website. Yes, it's in my notes. Yes, Hamas have gone back to releasing combat footage for the first time since the end of the ceasefire. Yes, since the return to hostilities, this is the first time Hamas has started releasing combat footage again. Yes, red triangles. We'll watch some of them. It's very sad. They have a propaganda war to win because the population is turning against them. They need to remind everyone that they're actually protecting Gaza and not the ones who got it destroyed. Anyway, stay on topic.
Or because there's really just one central point that I want to make here. My good friend Ian, in his hour-long takedown, did not mention one time Child Protective Services. Not one time. In the entire video, he never says CPS. No mention, no explanation, no overview, nothing. Zero mentions of CPS. A few weeks ago, Child Protective Services showed up to our house at 6 a.m. to interrogate us about an anonymous tip they got that our kids were crawling around and eating dog shit at catching diseases. Ian spends the majority of his video characterizing me like a raving lunatic who's lashing out at everyone around me with zero provocation.
Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship. And I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with it, and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
What he doesn't say is the majority of these clips he's using are taken from this episode. Now, does he ever show the title of this episode? No, he does not ever show the title of this episode. Snark called Child Protective Services on us. Not only does he not show the title, he doesn't explain why I'm upset, who I'm mad at, why I'm mad at them. Zero context. I am just an anonymous, screaming lunatic.
It's been pleasant hanging out with you. I've enjoyed your content over the years. And as of late, it's gotten really...
Yeah, so go f yourself.
I agree.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
Who else do we want to burn today? You're making it so obvious that this is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are. There was a way to approach this to say like, oh yeah, we feel hurt by you guys not saying something. You've decided to do the extra thing and attack.
In this episode, the same day that CPS came to my home, I was understandably irate. Yeah. This was a provocation that I had not experienced. It went into my real world was affecting my children and my life in a way that I found extremely disturbing and an escalation that I found.
If the audio is coming in and out, it's not coming on my meter, so that probably means you need to refresh. Man, the cry bullying, Jesus Christ. How did I just, the way these guys managed to just gaslight like the entire internet is so bizarre. Oh, wow.
Very unacceptable. Now, why am I mad at Ian for this? Well, let's start here. Denims is someone he's accusing me of in his video of harassing. Let's see what Denims said about my children 3 days before CPS was called.
He lets his dogs all over his mansion, and he just leaves the on the floor, something that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper is suing him for a number of different reasons. So I would assume he doesn't actually have a housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog, and he has kids, and his kids.
So people are trying to make this argument, like CPS calls insane, but didn't Ethan say his dog had given Giardia to the kids? He said something about how the dog was ill, and he thought the kids were ill. He said later on that he didn't actually know because they were getting tested, and that he said something about how you needed to literally like eat. Like, okay, like that's why we said it, which is a pretty stupid thing to say, especially when you're fighting with the craziest on the internet. But if anyone cared, they would do a quick Google search of Giardia and find out that it's actually quite easy to contract it. You don't need a dog to shit on the floor and to put it in your mouth for you to catch it. That's it. Like, but no one who spread this story and decided to editorialize and talk about like dogs all over the place and kids putting in their mouth like a full chunk of it. Yeah, this is like, that's what you do if you are bad faith. That's it. That's what you do if you are just trying to like cause harm. But you know, also if you're oversharing, calling CPS affects the kids. So if someone's oversharing on stream and you use that as an excuse, it's what to hurt the kids, to have the kids like have a CPS person like asking them questions and confusing them and all this kind of shit. Like, yeah.
It's like crawl into the dog, and God forbid, I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something, but they contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giardia from the dog that is all over his house.
Dude, how is
this
it
true?
that like maybe once a week I look into what Ethan
Oh, by the
Klein's
way,
been up-
Denims doesn't believe a single thing she's saying here. She knows and has always known for years Banabad is insane. She knows he's scary. She knows, well, she's literally scared of him. She knows he's a liar. It's all just, this is her team now, is what it is.
too. And every time I manage to find more and more terrible shit. This is where Ethan tells a story about his family getting
We
Giardia.
already have Mold Mondays. Now we have Saturdays.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children. I mean, much like many other illnesses, it's very, very, very dangerous when infants get the same sicknesses that adults get. There are lots of things that you can get as an adult. You're totally fine. You'll be A-okay. No problem. A child, a small infant that has no immune system, shouldn't be catching anything.
Let's go.
You know, one day his house is covered in dog and he's neglected children raised
See,
by nannies.
there's obviously no concern for the kids because no one Google searched what the Giardia is. No one looked. No one checked. Or they did check and they just decided to keep making it up anyway.
Contracted parasites previously unknown to science from the feces. I wonder why he skipped over all of this, because everything that he said, everything that I said in this story, which by the way was apparently compiled by his crew, playing.
No wonder this is always sick. Yeah. Yeah. It all makes sense now. It all makes sense now. It makes sense why he doesn't care about Palestinian children when he is neglecting his own. How are you? How is this happening? What's happening?
That chat statement.
Oh, how is this happening? Yeah, I mean, I don't even make fun of people's weight. I've never made fun of people's weight. I do make fun of people's posture. If you're making an active decision that like you don't give a about your health or your posture or your dog shitting all over the house to the point where your kids are getting Giardia, that's the image of someone who is not well. Wait, what? Wait, what, Denims? Wait, what? You guys didn't know about this? Yeah.
See, look, that's not someone who's like sincerely finding something funny and laughing. This is just a job. This is just a Just doing a job. Mental.
Meth Zempic diet. Oh God.
Even after CPS was called, Denims attempted to justify it by claiming that it's okay because children can't be traumatized.
I want you to create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3. They don't understand this shit. So I told him,
Create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old.
Did her IQ start at 145?
Create any bad memory
150, 151. All right.
for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old. Nah, yes, you are. No, you're not.
Yeah.
When we're talking about being able to
Pure
remember,
facts.
being able to recall memories, it's like 4 is the cutoff. But even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like.
This reminds me of like before being a Hasan waiting room, before doing the Hasan thing, she was quite involved in Vaush's community. Yeah, she was involved in Vaush's community. I remember because she was in Vaush's chat when he was having that debate with Noah Samson. And I remember being in DMs with her live while it was happening, being like, man, this Noah guy's really out of his depth. But then before that, it was like, and then it was Destiny's. The thing that she's doing here is just it's a Voshism, you know, where occasionally when Vaush was talking about like science stuff or whatever, you could tell he was just kind of like riffing a little bit, or not so much riffing, but like, or maybe riffing or just going off something that you maybe semi-remembered from like 5 years ago, but then just completely rearranging it to make sense in your head. Like the total ad-lib fake science. It's like a Voshism. That's where she's got that from.
No, you're not. When we're talking about being able to remember, being able to recall memories, it's like 4 is the cutoff. But even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15. You have maybe 1 or 2 memories.
If you're wondering who the guy is she's watching, his name is Bad Empanada. And as far as harassment campaigns go, you'd think that Ian, as someone who cares so deeply about it, would be talking about him and not me. Here's a small taste.
I'd like to pay tribute to Ethan Klein and the new Twitch TOS that declares Zionism. Zion is the slur. I'd like to pay tribute to him by playing the first in Al-Aqsa video game where you kill Zionist
You
soldiers.
can still be traumatized by things you don't remember. Really? Like cortisol's a thing. Stop, man.
As a Palestinian resistance fighter. Anyways, are these Israelis? They're just standing there? I mean, is the Israeli army a bunch of Ethan Kleins? Like, they're all on a Ozempic binge. They don't understand what's going on around them. They haven't noticed me. Where do they keep the secretaries? In here? I'm hunting for secretaries right now. Secretary got...
Here's Bad Empanada once again, who posted a story saying, I'm the one who called CPS on Ethan Klein. I want CPS to take his kids away because they are seriously in danger.
Jesus.
Today was pretty bad, wasn't it?
Gorgeous George right here. Is he on the shitter? Why is he talking like that? I've never seen this.
Really sucked for you. You were so disappointed. The betrayal of one of your closest long-term friends, huh? Tick-tock, though, Ethan. Tick-tock, because this was just a taste. This was just a small part of what we have organized for you. It's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse, Mr. Klein. Every day, sit there just waiting in misery, in fear of what we have in store for you. Tick-tock goes the clock.
Maybe if he stops
The
harassing
fuck,
other
man?
creators.
He lets his dogs...
Was that like, where's that from? Is this like an Instagram post, or is this like an Instagram post, or did he send this privately? I've never seen this before. Where'd this come from? It was a personal message. He's never sent me one of these. Jesus. Do I not warrant this kind of treatment? You see, the thing is like, the problem has always been that a lot of people try to just like outsource a lot of the issues with like the problem with this human hemorrhoid is that it's not really exceptional, you know? It's like the more he behaves like this, the more he gets rewarded for it. So like obviously he's like insanely mentally ill. Like he's not a happy person. He's insanely insecure, which is why every time I like even for like 5 minutes in one of my VODs will refute something that he's saying, he will just go schizo on me for like a week. But it's also just like he gets rewarded for behaving like that. And that's not a problem with him necessarily. The problem is with everyone else. It's like it's the entire community that supports it and rewards this behavior and doesn't reward the more like, because he used to just be like a very dull, here's what's happening in Latin America communism video essayist. And no one gave a But when you do shit like this, it's like, oh, hey, this guy might be useful to us. Let's go. Yeah.
They're just waiting in misery, in fear of what we have in store for you. Tick-tock goes the clock.
Maybe if he stops harassing other creators.
He lets his dogs shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor.
Maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace.
House is just like covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit.
And I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with it.
I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something.
I was particularly angry during this episode entitled Snark Called CPS on Us because I hold Denims to be one of the primary reasons, in my opinion, why CPS was called. Another one of their friends, Froggy Tonic, had been spreading the same malicious rumor about me on Twitter for days before CPS was called as well.
I used to work with this video editor named Froggy Tonic. I discovered him because he was in the circles online that I was in. There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that, you know? Like, I'm not gonna endorse it. I'm not gonna retweet it or like it. But fair enough. Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word, said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese, and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure.
Now let me show you the tweets that Ian conveniently omitted. Me when my 3 kids ask me why they haven't seen
how
me
was I supposed to know about all the tweets? I didn't know about that. Okay, dude.
The past 4 months, I was in my basement. How can you shun a fallen fan when they worry about their 3 kids when they can't be bothered to protect their dogs? Ethan was neglectful with his dogs. He's already been neglectful with his kids, and he will continue to be. As a child of a neglectful, bipolar, narcissistic dad, that's precisely why I worry about Ethan's kids. I explained it on the podcast, but the truth of the matter is it's all a lie. It's all wrong. The man is talking about my children. He's painting me as a terrible parent, a neglectful parent, and saying that he's, whose claim to fame as being iDubbbz' friend and former editor, is spreading malicious, damaging rumors about me that led to the CPS being called. Which, by the way, Ian does not explain one time. Did not mention why I'm angry at Froggy Tonic. He did not mention why I'm angry at Denims. He did not mention the name of the episode. He did not mention what the episode was about. He actually has a perfect opportunity to explain the CPS call, but watch what he does here instead.
Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word, said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese, and a bunch of other shit.
What other shit, Ian? Other shit is doing a lot of heavy lifting, man. Now, why does this matter? Because Anisa was yucking it up with these guys during the period in which they were spreading this rumor and when the CPS call was made. The CPS call is...
Oh, yeah, we were watching this Anisa person yesterday, weren't we? We were watching a bit of her yesterday. We got one of her moments. Oh, God, this was pretty apt.
Like, disgusting the doctor was that did the experiments on people. I was like...
Are you... Everybody's walking around.
It's terrible.
I'm looking for when I explained it. I had an exact timestamp. Well, anyway, as we wait, here's Anisa justifying Nazi atrocities.
Uh-oh.
Fat for no reason.
Is experimenting on 10 children to obtain a cure for thousands of kids' lives justified? That's a really hard question. And I think if people are being 100% honest, they'd give you a different answer than what you're expecting. It's terrible.
Are you? Everybody's walking around. Everybody knows. What are you doing? Oh my
As the Holocaust was, obviously it was horrendous, and how disgusting the doctor was that did the experiments on people. It was gay people, handicaps, twins.
Who else? Who else? Who else, Anisa?
This person is so funny, man.
Who else did they do experiments on?
And obviously, they were obviously Jewish.
Okay.
Or they did it on Jewish people. They found a couple of really groundbreaking discoveries through that experimentation.
Yeah.
I think that's a complete lie. Nothing useful came from that.
Nothing
data.
useful at all.
Fucking unbelievable. Why would you? Bro, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if I had said something even like 1% as insane as that? Jesus Christ. But that's acceptable, you know, because you're pro-Palestine? Mate. Sake. Why do these guys even pretend that they don't like al-Husseini? Just say, yeah, it was understandable. Yeah, he was mad. There are too many Jews coming in. You know, beggars can't be choosers. He had to be friends with Hitler to get the Jews out. Just say it. Just do it. Like, why don't they? If the thing is, if one of them started saying that, the others would be fine with it. I don't know. Really, this is not really about politics anymore. It's not really about. You think it's like a moral purity test, but it's not really a moral test at all. It's just like a loyalty test. Weird.
Central to understanding this story. You cannot tell this story without that context. And to try to tell this story without including that detail, it would be the most bad faith, cruel, gaslighting hit piece of all time. Unfortunately, that's exactly what he did. He convinced his audience that the reason that I'm mad, that I'm lashing out, simply because I'm a raving lunatic, I am crashing out, I'm just crazy and harassing his friends for no reason. And by the way, to my good friend Ian of 8 years, I really appreciate you weaponizing my mental health against me.
To make Ethan crash out. He's having a parasocial weird crash out. People can have crash out moments. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help.
Someone who I've confided in over the years with my struggles with it, who understands what I've been through, the lengths that I've gone to work on myself and improve my mental condition. For him to throw that in my face, to characterize anything I'm doing as crashing out, that I need help, that I need to get some kind of treatment, is cruel and pathetic on a level I didn't think he would ever be possible of doing. One ridiculous point he keeps hammering on is that I'm hating on him, I'm harassing him, simply because he's following people on Twitter.
We're not going to run to your defense when, I don't know, we follow people. We be following. That's one up thing that you can say about Anisa and I is when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
I'm not upset, Ian, because you follow people.
Yeah.
That is absurd. I'm mad because you are actively engaging with these people on social media, in DMs, while this harassment is happening, seemingly indifferent to it, silent on it. In a sense, I felt like you were more on their side than my side.
Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out.
Our silence means something. That's exactly what we felt. Wow, it's almost like we were right about you. There's something that I've never talked about publicly, but around the same time, we received 2 human skulls in the mail at our home, which led us to having a very pleasant interview with the FBI.
Yeah, I remember this. I was told about this. That's up. I think they show you pictures of the skulls on Reddit, whether or not blurred because of YouTube TOS. There's a tag on them. They come from this website, Skulls Unlimited. Yeah, it's on his Instagram, yeah. Comes from this website, I believe, because they've got the same tags. And yeah, some of these like real human skulls, they're like $1,000 or $2,000 a piece. So someone spent good money on that. I didn't even know there was a service where you could buy an actual skull, bro. That's some expensive harassment. And I don't even need to prove it to you guys because it's obvious. Like you can look at Snark and all these like Twitter threads, and people are saying that it's like he ordered them himself to make it look like if you order these things yourself and you call the FBI, that's kind of like an insane. That's like a crime. For medical professors, is it legal? I don't know. Yeah, the FBI would ruin you for trying to do that. The partial ones are less than $1,000, but I think all of the full ones are $1,200 or more. Where did they get the skulls from? You know what? I don't know. Let's find out. Bonebox subscription. Uh-oh. Listen, guys. I know we just had a conversation yesterday about manufacturing consent and psyops. Okay? I know it's happened in the past where people will manufacture an outrageous act in order to justify some level of retribution. Okay? But this is just a coincidence, okay? Bonebox. It's good advice, though. Subscribe to Bonebox, provided you change a few of the letters. Okay, about us. Do they not say where they get the skulls from? That would be the most obvious question. FAQ. Products. Are the specimens real or replicas? We offer both real and replicas. Where'd you get the real ones? Do you provide skull cleaning services? Are your specimens ethically sourced? We are committed to ethical sourcing. All right, well, that I suppose that clears everything up. Now we got that sorted. Bonebox.
Yeah. Things have progressed well past the point of that's just what the internet does. Ian had a recent revelation. He's transcended into a new person. He's achieved nirvana and discovered empathy at age 32.
I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability empathy. And I'm very ashamed to admit that. It sounds really pathetic.
This iDubbbz guy is just like 12 IQ, isn't he? He kind of seems like he always has been. That's the vibe I'm getting from everything I've seen of him. He just seems very, like, stupid. Okay.
Say at the age of 32, I've acquired empathy.
Wow.
But I have, and I've realized it because I just, like, can't help myself but... like feel for other people's pain and suffering now. I'm still not perfect. I think that is, my empathy meter's only maybe like a quarter of the way filled up potentially, but it's at least there.
In the spirit of his newfound enlightenment, he had this to say.
I have made some cruel, hurtful content, and I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it. The content I'm talking about specifically are content cop videos and videos where I was just generally criticizing people for very lackluster reasons and, obviously didn't have any accountability online whatsoever on my end. I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human. I'm a real human who makes mistakes, I make a different set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate. It's also indoctrinated a lot of people into thinking that this is an okay way to behave, and it's not.
What happened? Am I so uniquely evil that you're willing to abandon your newfound principles after, less than a year? What is it that I've done, Ian, that makes me more detestable than any of the other people that you've content copped? And for what did you do this? To revitalize your dying career? This entire video reeks of desperation, of being thrown together, and poorly researched. I don't really even understand why they did this, and I can't imagine that it's going to be worth it.
Skulls Unlimited got the bones from bodies donated for science. Oh, who makes all the money off of it then? Just like the people... I guess you couldn't really make it the case that when the people who are dying, like their families get money for the skulls or anything like that, right? Because that would produce some perverse incentives. Oh, there is a page on the details of how they get them. Treated with great care and dignity, attention to detail.
8 years of friendship, buddy. Have fun with your new friends.
Well, honestly, if they got it from a website that's identifiable, then surely it would be not too difficult to find out who bought them. Depends on the FBI's powers. They've got powers. They'd know. I'm so curious. I just want to see the mugshot of the degenerate who did that. It's like a mafia threat. It's so grim. Yeah, what happens if you find out whose skull it is, and then the family finds out that the skull they donated got used for a harassment campaign? What the FBI probably knows already. Yeah. You're 99% sure it was bad empanada. No, it's obviously not. Like, bro, people like that never put their own well-being at risk to do shit like that. It's always outsourcing, okay? Always outsourcing. Anyway, why would you donate for that site? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't even want to speculate. What's Asmongold saying?
Ethan and other content creators, when a video that was critical of Ethan and other content creators when they're talking about Israel and Palestine.
I think that Ian is running defense for this by saying and framing it in that way. When the title of the video is the YouTubers that backed it. Like, I'll show you the video. This is the one that Hasan wanted me to Hasan wanted to. How many subs was he going to gift me if I watched this video? The whole thing on stream. It was like a huge amount, right? He really wanted me to watch this. And the YouTubers who backed the genocide, 500 subs. Yeah, there it was. And like, to say that a YouTuber backs a genocide, this is a pretty heavy accusation, right? This is a really heavy accusation. This isn't being critical.
I'm trying to think about yesterday if I was too charitable to Queeman's manufacturing consent argument. Does that mean you can say that the Gazans who are calling Hamas terrorists right now are backing a genocide by manufacturing consent, by shitting on Hamas, calling them terrorists? It's like you'd only believe it if you're assuming that like Hezbollah, the Houthis, the Axis, the rest of the Axis, Hamas are actually trying to defend against a yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. There must be a quicker way of getting that through, though.
Critical of how they are talking about the Israel-Palestine conflict. This is someone saying that not only are you talking about it, but you are actively promoting the ethnic cleansing of a group of people.
This is like, would I find it convincing that Hasan did this without seeing DMs? Maybe, but he, if Asmongold had said Hasan offered him 500 gifted subs to watch Noah's video, it would have to be accompanied with a message saying Asmongold should educate himself. Of course he would send him that video, thinking that it's like an authoritative piece. He said it on stream. What, did he say that he was going to give him 500 gifted subs for it? If someone wants to send me that clip, they can, because that sounds funny. Imagine, like, please just watch this YouTube video. Then you'll understand. Okay. Oh, we'll do this later. Oh. Hang on. This is speculation. Nothing has been confirmed. Look at the markings. Why are they returned to the website? Are we seriously looking at bumps in a skull, mate? Okay, so this one, because there are bumps here. Oh, wow, really? There are bumps at the eye saw. Okay. This is so dense. Look at the nose, you idiot. Look at this. Look at these ridges here. Does that look the same to you? Holy shit. Close enough. Really, skulls look similar. Do the same thing with fingerprints next time. All right. What does the red top have to say about it? What does the tabloid have to tell us about this news? The H3 Snark subreddit is a mountain of content today, or to dad. Almost overwhelming. This post was particularly egregious. They are claiming Ethan bought the skulls, left the tag on them, and then returned the skulls to get his money back. Those little red that's so funny, man. Yeet is a Destiny simp, though. I don't care. I don't really look for his Destiny content. They're starting to make jokes. Would hate if my ops sent me cool skulls in the mail. Okay. LSF reacts to the news. What's LSF saying? That's 100% coming from Bad Empanada community or maybe himself. That's why you don't promote this degen. I don't know much about this drama, but 5 seconds of that BE clip should be enough to convince any thinking person that whichever side that guy is on is the bad guys. What the f***? And they want us to believe that they're the ones being harassed. The more I hear about the situation, the more I think Ethan freaking out is justified. Oh. This entire harassment campaign has 100% banked on people not looking into it. It just so happens to be conveniently deep and convoluted to keep up with. Yeah, that's always the idea. It's always the outsourcing as well. Hasn't LSF usually been like this? Isn't this why Hasan hates the subreddit? Because it doesn't side with him unconditionally? Like, him or his people, I should say. You're all crashing out. Talk to Sam Cedar. Fix your posture. Bro, skulls, man. Skulls. He's been degrading them more than usual. He can't manufacture consent. Oh no. Look at my lefties when you can't manufacture consent. Puff Piece, Coachella, don't give a f. Islamophobia towards Frogan. Oh no.
I'm getting labeled as one of the people that's been like the like I've leveled or like leveraged or levied, whatever I don't know, unjust criticism at Frogan. I think that I have been the most fair. Well, obviously I have been. But like in this situation, especially I have been. Like I've never made it. Yeah, there was that picture of her looking like Jabba the Hutt. It's kind of funny, right? Sure, yeah, it's funny. But like, I'm sorry, if you can't laugh at that, you're a bitch. I bet she even probably thinks it's kind of funny. Of course, it doesn't mean that she's like this terrible person.
Asmongold, the chief woman understander. Yeah, women who are overweight, they love it when you make jokes about them being overweight. They've always got that like a self-deprecating consciousness about it. Especially from someone they don't like. When a stranger on the internet, based
person, or like you're trying to make fun of her, you hate her religion or something like that. It's just funny. That's it. And again, stop trying to over-escalate everything to be like this crazy thing, etc. Right? The Pot of Greed. I haven't seen that one. I have no idea. But either way, I find this to be funny that I get criticized for that when I've been probably one of the most charitable people towards Frogan. And I, you know, as I said, I met her in real life. She seemed nice. It was fine. That's why it was confusing to me whenever she would go on stream and say stuff like that.
Is it so? Is Hasan trying to say it's Islamophobia? Is there a clip of that, or? I mean, he does that all the time.
So the content cop. We will talk a little bit about the content cop from yesterday, right? So I watched Content Cop yesterday. I went through the entire thing. What are my thoughts on the entire thing? I think that over half of that video should not have been public.
The thing with, are you seriously, how delusional or dishonest do you have to be to assume that it's Islamophobia that makes people attack Frogan, bro? Like, people don't like, okay, she's got a really annoying voice. She's really dumb. She supports terrorism. She's obtuse. She has very, very few. She was tragically born with no redeeming qualities. And she looks like the Pot of Greed from Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that not enough reasons to dislike Frogan? Like this person in 60 seconds, that clip of Frogan, she didn't know what a Druze was, despite acting like some authority in the Middle East because she's got Lebanese heritage. When she heard about Israelis wanting to return home to the north, she thought they wanted to return to Lebanon. And she thinks people from the north of Israel who were displaced have houses in Brooklyn. Oh, but if you don't like someone who's that retarded, yeah, you must be Islamophobic. Jesus Christ. This Destiny, no. Andrew Tate, no. Scared to talk. I'll make this the last one.
I don't know what Anisa's level of interest is in this, but I'm sorry. I've been
She's interested in Nazi science experiments, though, and for some completely unknown reason, pretending that they yielded scientific discoveries. Groundbreaking discoveries. What groundbreaking discovery did Joseph Mengele come across again? Was it? Oh yeah, if you put chloroform into someone's heart, they won't like it. That's a big one. Don't do it, guys.
Asking for him,
if you sew people together, they might get upset spaghetti with you.
Who talked to me about this for how many months now? He is so
people
scared.
Die when you kill them.
Dude, he is so goddamn scared of anyone that he perceives falsely or correctly that he couldn't dominate. And I think Anisa would dominate him.
Oh, the projection. Yeah, Anisa, she'd explain to him. Imagine, yeah, Anisa would dominate Ethan. Why? Because Hasan thinks that being having Lebanese blood makes you have magical powers as long as you're on his side. What is this projection, bro? We all know. I hate it when you have these people who dodge debates right, left, and center from 90% of people who try to talk to them, unless they're 16 or a drama creator or can offer them clout. But everyone else, but then someone like that can just go to someone else and be like, this person's so scared. Why don't they talk to this other person that I'm throwing in front of them? Like, what the man? Like, off.
For the record. But he probably thinks in his mind he could actually look better in that conversation. No talking to someone who would be endlessly charitable to him like Sam. No talking to any number of different people that he's slandered over the years. Yeah. Talk to Matt Lieb. Talk to Bad Empanada. Destroy Bad Empanada.
Why are you like? Why would you? Really, would Hasan talk to Sam Hyde? Would Hasan debate Sam Hyde? I thought it was probably acceptable. Because I'll talk to most people, like almost anyone. I think it's okay to draw a line at people who are doxing you and attacking your personal life. I think that's probably okay. I think there's a level of obsession and bad faith that it's probably okay to say no to. But that's a fairly high threshold. Who wouldn't you debate? Right now, my blacklist, who would I not debate? Bad Empanada, obviously, because he's like trying to spread my address around to people and saying that like I'm accessible and can be targeted and shit. That's probably a red line to me. History speaks. Too obsessed. Too bad faith. That's probably it. If there's anyone else, it would be because of how they are with other people, right? Like D-Man. Yeah, I'm obviously never debating Destiny or talking to him about it. But I'm thinking about people who would actually like ask me for a debate. Sunday, yeah, but that's more because of his behavior towards Pixie. I wouldn't debate him. Mike from PA, yeah, I would talk to Mike from PA. Obviously, of course, I would talk to Mike from PA. Jesus Christ.
Marketplace of ideas. Why won't you do that? He's called out your wife.
Westside Tyler. Yeah, probably. I don't know. I feel like my reason for not talking to Westside Tyler would probably be because he's like he's actually brain damaged. And it feels bad.
Dude, right?
Stop throwing names at me. Would you debate Hasan? Yes, of course I would debate Hasan. Jesus Christ. What about Destiny? I just said I wouldn't talk to Destiny. Obviously, you idiot. Jesus. But that's for slightly different reasons.
He's done horrible things. You should talk to Bad Empanada and destroy him. You can do it, big man. Remember how you defeated just girly things or just pearly things or whatever the
I really appreciate all the comments on my jacket, you guys. What the? I know none of these people you've mentioned. Not important. That's good. Is the Destiny blacklist permanent? Yup. Thank you. Debate perverts, by the way. True. Okay. I think we're good. Looking like a World War II bomber pilot. I suppose I do. Dave Smith. Off. Why are you? Yes, please. I fear the Dave Smith. Get him away from me. Get him away from me. Saddam Hussein. I literally told, when people were pissing at me for the Israel-Palestine trip and the interviews I was doing, I was like, bro, I would interview Sinwar if I could. Like, yeah. There's lots of things I'd want to ask him, but he's dead, so rip. He threw a stick at a drone and died. Not my fault. What is this? Is this more? Is this important? Slopmmuel. Who the f is Slopmmuel?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and whatever else may be watching, we've got a lot of iDubbbz.
It's very unlikely I'm going to get through more than a couple of minutes of this video. Just right off the bat. Okay.
H3 stuff to discuss in today's video. If you're not already aware, this is my third video covering this situation. If you're not caught up to this situation, I highly consider you go and watch my other two videos on this situation, then come back and continue watching this one. First thing that I quickly want to go over is the last remaining clips from H3's response.
This video, it's doing well view-wise. It has like it has over 50% dislike, so clearly there's a lot of people that don't like it. But what interests me, I think
apparently that might not be true. I don't know if it's because a lot of these extensions that show you the dislikes don't actually accurately show you them, so I don't know, but it doesn't matter.
Of just how nonsensical this entire hate movement is against me is that You cannot watch this video and think it's actually good.
The one thing I have to say that's against Ethan Klein here is the dislike counter on YouTube with the extensions is very, very inaccurate a lot of the time. He's not wrong that the vast majority of the people that watch this video ended
You
up...
found the clip of the 500 gifties. Okay, let's go. Why not? Give it to me. Put it in me.
Then they're not a credible source. If lying about this issue, then they're not a credible source.
I love it that this is about the Twitch blocking people making new signups from Palestine and Israel. I love it that people did this thinking that that makes it not a target against Israel, when every single group that targets Israel inevitably also targets Palestine. Like, I don't understand that. Like, you know, Hezbollah rockets land in the West Bank. You know, Hezbollah rockets hit Palestinians in the north of Israel. You know, Hamas in Gaza kill Palestinians for collaborating, and they also kill Palestinians when they cross the border. You know, Yemeni missiles risk hitting Palestinians. You know, Iranian rockets have landed on Palestinians and killed them. You know, BDS hits Palestinians, especially if it's on Israel proper, because, or, you know, targeting the port of Eilat hurts Palestinians. But suddenly it's like, oh, well, this wasn't targeted against Israel. Yeah, hell, they're pretty intertwined. All to do with the military occupation and shit like that, right? Like, that's, yeah, you're inevitably hitting Palestine if you hit Israel as well. Sorry. Doesn't stop you being anti-Israel.
Surely Asmongold will watch this video. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I will gift 500 gifted subs in Asmongold's chat if he sits through this entire video. He doesn't need the money, obviously, but that's how much I know he will never in a million years watch this.
Wow. He's scared of the truth. Well, why am I clicking on that? Off. Ooh. Do I care about this? Probably. Why won't you watch the nuke? Because he's insecure. Too insecure. Check stream suggestions. Also, his chat would just be telling him to turn it off the whole time. It's like, yeah. Stream suggestions. I just did. What's this? Oh, Turkish fascism. What? YouTube.
Why do Turks subscribe to racial exceptionalism? Is it different from a perspective other than Aryan? What the fuck? I don't get it. Dude, Westerners are so funny. They think that like the only racial supremacist nationalism is Aryan.
Don't forget Jewish. I don't care. Why am I watching this? When's the Destiny content cop being watched? You know what? I might be bored enough today to watch it. Who knows? And this is him throwing the Grey Wolves sign. Yeah, I think because in that clip he said he does it for a meme or some shit. Whatever. The way Hasan talks about Kurds is quite weird. He does seem to talk about them as if they are just kind of like America's little bitches. The way he was talking about his commentary in Syria was very bizarre, but that's
I'm gonna fight again for sure.
No one cares about that. There's no point calling it out.
You are.
I think my plan, is to just take this next.
Why is this
I'm gonna fight again for sure.
You are.
I think my plan, is to just take this next year off, help out some more fighters, give someone like the main event slot. There are a lot of people who are very deserving of it.
You know, I don't know, Ian. I feel like, my opinion as a friend, you guys put together this great event. Maybe just manage it, because like you're just a normal dude, and like I don't know that it's good. No, but I'm serious. I don't know if it's worth going out there and taking all these hits to the head. You know, you saw how freaked out Joe Rogan was over the dad fight last year, the pituitary gland. Ian.
Why does it lie?
No, dude, my pituitary gland is solid.
He's had zero brain issues.
Dude, he's getting...
That's just not true.
Punched in the head. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good for you. No, you look really good out there. I mean, you f***ed him up too. But that being said, Ian, you know, that's my thought. I don't know. You know, I don't. You know,
that's sweet. I appreciate that. As a friend, that means a lot to me. Your concern.
And I would say the same thing to AB, but I don't think he's fighting again.
I'm out. I'm gonna fight.
Okay. Thank you. He has zero brain issues, mate. I don't believe it. Sorry. That's just disinformation. Application from the removal from the list of prescribed organizations. Oh, yeah. This is the Hamas have appealed to the United Kingdom, I believe. Is that right? They've appealed to the United Kingdom to get taken off of the terror list, which is the prescription. Yeah. That's interesting. Operation Tufan al-Aqsa. Is this to the UK or is it to someone else? Secretary of State for the Home Department. Is that what they call the Home? Yeah, British State. Yeah. Yeah, they've written a whole thing. This is their executive summary for why they should be taken off the terror list. What are they doing, man? Like, is this, can you, I'm sorry, what the are they doing? What is the, I'm so sick of these people, man. What is the Hamas office doing right now? The Hamas, general government, like what the are they playing at? This will be their, I don't even know which part of the movement this is, like which institution this is. What the, it's not only this, right? Just yesterday, they've gone back, I think after rejecting the Israeli terms for the ceasefire because they don't want to discuss disarmament, which I keep saying, they don't want to discuss disarmament. No one believes me, but it's true. They don't want to discuss disarmament. Yeah, they've gone back to posting red triangle videos. Really? Look at it. It's the same flashy nonsense trash. Little tunnel there. Let's go. Remember, guys, the better the propaganda videos, the worse the military. Oh, we got him. Wait, am I going to be paranoid now? Am I just going to be total schizo? IDF Toyota Hilo. Isn't that Toyota vehicle the one that is like everywhere in Gaza that Gazans always use? I don't know. So yeah, they've done that. And then there's also like, if you don't see any, the car was fine. No, apparently it's tipped over there. Although, yeah, it is the same vehicle, right? So they did tip over this vehicle. I don't know if their IDF have reported casualties though. It's so funny with all these videos because it's very difficult to tell like how much damage they've actually caused. Like this is just a guy firing an RPG somewhere. And this is just someone firing mortars, but we don't know what they're hitting or if they're hitting anything or what damage they're causing. And then this is the first video they've done since returning to hostilities. Pretty sure the first clip is not Gaza. Tall grass is not a thing there. I'm pretty sure you can see tall grass in parts of Gaza now. Just another, oh look, there's a red triangle, a machine, little tank firing out of a window. IDF did report their first KIA. Oh, well, that might be it. So it's just so unbelievable. Like the fact that they're back to doing this, back to getting the Premier Pro squad working and appealing to the UK with this document to get themselves taken off of the terror list. Like, mate, how much does Gaza have to get ruined for these guys to realize that it's over? It's so embarrassing. It's just such a... And so now, what's the position that Hamas are in? Even from their perspective, well, October 7th didn't go the way they expected. At least Sinwar expected much more cooperation from Palestinians in Israel, from people in the West Bank, from Hezbollah, from the Houthis. They expected much more of an overwhelming thrust at the very beginning before they were pushed back into Gaza. Nasrallah's dead. The Houthis are... Iran is running out of Yemen. Iran's just really scared of America now with the nuclear facilities getting hit. Hezbollah are gone. There's an anti-Hezbollah president in Lebanon. All of Gaza is destroyed. Their aid's been blocked for like 58 days now or some crazy shit. And Hamas are just sitting there like, okay, listen, the Premier Pro editors, go. Editing squad, red triangle team, go. Okay, what else do we have on the agenda? Let's write an incredibly long-winded document to the United Kingdom government telling them to stop calling us terrorists, please. Yeah, okay, cool. And they're just sitting there typing away in the tunnel 50 meters below the ground with bombs going off everywhere. Everyone's dying. All their leaders are dropping like flies. The locals are uprising against them. Like, for the first time in history, according to Hamas, this is a genocide where the first line of defense against the genocide is being protested against by the victims of the genocide. Like, how cooked are you? Trump is in office. The Democrats aren't getting swayed on anything. American leftists have no power. A bunch of them are about to get deported by the fascist defenders against anti-Semitism task force in America. You're so like... The Gulf states are fed up with you. Qatar is like getting pretty close to like cutting the string with you. It's over. The Axis doesn't give a fuck about you. And you're still out here like, oh, well, we took out one vehicle yesterday. Our first Israeli KIA in, 50 days. It's so embarrassing, man. And the people who pay the price for all of this LARP, for all this, the Black Knight from Monty Python bouncing around with no arms or legs. 'Tis but a scratch. I didn't hear no bell, sonny. The people who pay the price for this LARP are Palestinian civilians. They're not gaining shit for this. They're not reducing harm. They're not like frustrating the Israeli military in any particular, like in any substantial way. They're not doing anything. Ironically, in terms of world opinion, it's interesting because, yeah, world opinion against Israel has gone very far south. Overall, like more countries are recognizing Palestine, like Israel is unpopular and increasingly unpopular across more governments than pretty much ever, I think. But in terms of international relations that actually yield outcome, Israel's in a better position internationally. You understand that, right? Because the only countries that really matter to Israel are the United States and to a lesser extent, like Germany, maybe Italy. And for the most part, they're fine for Israel. Like they got Trump in America. So in a way, their international stance is, in some ways for Netanyahu especially, and for the Likud, it's even better than it was before. And Hamas are still just like, it ain't over yet, sonny. The comeback is just around the corner. They got a blank check to do absolutely anything. It's over. It's over. You f***ed up. No one helped you in the way that you wanted them to. Your own people hate you. Sinwar, your great, brave military mastermind, threw a stick at a drone and died. I just, it's so frustrating because people still act like this is some kind of like legitimate defense of the territory or of rights. And it's just such a statement. It's like, what is this for? Maybe they'll get a few more UN resolutions, eh? A few more human rights reports will come out. They've managed to alienate France and empower Turkey. Yeah, and they've got a blank check from the United States. They've got the most pro-Israel, pro-Netanyahu, pro-Likud president ever. Like, the Abraham Accords countries, unfortunately, are not going to do anything. They're not going to, like, they might slow down their normalization process. Like, that's obviously been a thing. But they're not going to, like, give up the stability and of the relations that they have with Israel and their relations and the stability of the region to save Hamas. They're not going to do that. It's just going to freeze the process for a while. That's the best that it's got for in terms of like the Abraham Accords. How does it even go? The Islamic Resistance Movement, Hamas, has instructed lawyers in London to make an application to the Home Secretary under Section 4 of the Terrorism Act to remove its name, blah, 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 blah. Okay. For more than a century, the British state has been responsible for colonization, ethnic cleansing, and apartheid. Okay, it's just cringe, man. Can you imagine the British government reading through this? I wonder which poor coffee boy they gave this one to.